How does a beautiful and lively elementary school teacher who had no history of mental illnesses or anxiety until a few months prior to her death is found dead in her kitchen floor with multiple stab wounds to the back of her neck and skull, a gash on the side of her head that is really deep, and multiple stab wounds to her chest, with one ending in her heart and the knife being left to get ruled as a suicide? How? How is this possible? This is the beginning of us talking about the Ellen Greenberg case. So if you are interested, please consider giving the video a like and joining me on this discussion while I begin a new diamond art project. Before we officially begin, please know that many of you may already know a lot about this case. I am at the very beginning and only really know what I had seen on the Hulu series about Ellen's death. So while we do episodes discussing Ellen, please understand that I will not know as much as people are going to expect of me right off the bat. That is why we are going through the FOIA records and giving analysis one video at a time.
Help! I need a emergency now. I just walked to my apartment. My fiance's on the floor with blood everywhere.
What is the address?
4601 Flat Rock Road. Please come. Help.
4601
Flat Rock Road.
Is this a house or apartment?
Oh no. Oh no.
Apartment.
It's an apartment. Please hurry, please.
Where is she bleeding from?
I don't know. I can't tell.
No, sir, you have to calm yourself down in order to get you some help.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm looking at her right now. I can't see anything. There's nothing broken. She's bleeding. Ellie!
You don't know where she's bleeding from? Can't tell where the blood's coming from?
I think her head. I think she hit her head, I think. But it's everywhere.
Okay, sir.
It's everywhere.
You think she might have fallen? Do you know what happened?
She may have slipped. There's blood on the table. Her face is a little purple.
Okay, hold on for rescue for her. Stay on the phone. What's wrong?
I went downstairs to go work out. I came back up. The door was latched. My fiance's inside. She wasn't answering. So after about a half hour, I decided to break it down. I see her now just on the floor with blood. She's not responding.
Okay, is she breathing? Look at her chest. I need you to calm down, and I need you to look at her chest. It's really.
I really don't think she is.
Listen to me. Someone's on the way. Look at her chest. Is she flat on her back?
She's on her back. So I bring her.
Look at her chest and tell me if it's going up and down, up and down.
I don't see her moving.
Okay. Do you know how to do CPR?
I don't.
Okay. I can tell you what to do. Okay, until they get there. I want you to keep her flat on her.
God.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, okay.
Are you willing to do CPR with me over the phone until they get there?
I have to, right?
Okay, so get her flat on her back, bare her chest, okay? You want to rip her shirt off, okay? Kneel down by her side.
Oh, my God. Ellie, please.
Listen, you can't freak out, sir, because you
Okay, I'm trying not to. Her shirt won't come off. It's a zipper.
Rip
oh,
it
my
off.
God. She stabbed herself.
Where?
She fell on a knife. Oh, no, her knife's sticking out.
Her what?
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
Oh, she stabbed herself?
I guess so. I don't know where she fell on it. I don't know.
Okay, well, don't touch it.
Okay, so I just let her here now? I mean, what do I do?
No, I mean, you can't. If the knife is in her chest, it's going to be kind of hard for you to do CPR at this time.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Police, which operator? 277.
Is someone coming here?
Yes, they are. You said 4601 Flat Rock, right?
Yes.
Okay, someone's on the way. And the knife is still inside?
Wait, so what?
The knife is still inside of her?
Yes, I didn't take it out.
Was it her chest or what area?
It's in her chest. It looks like it's right in her heart.
Okay, someone's on the way out there. Okay, just get.
Oh my God! Okay,
how old is she?
She's 27.
27, and there's no sign of life at all.
No, please don't be. What?
Pinch her under her arm and tell me if she responds to pain.
Ellie. She's not. Her hands are still warm. I don't know if that means, but there's blood everywhere. I mean.
I know, but you can't, and the knife is still inside of her. How far? Can you see how far it went in?
It looks pretty deep.
Okay.
It looks it's a long knife.
Don't touch anything. Yeah, don't touch anything, okay?
I'm not touching anything. I can't believe this, though.
So wait, it was just you there with her?
We're the only ones here.
And she ran in the door, you said latched it shut?
No, I went downstairs to work out, and when I came back up, the door was latched.
Oh.
Like, it was, it wasn't like, it was like locked from the inside, and I'm yelling, so I'm
Was
yelling.
your house broken into?
No.
So there's no sign of a break-in?
No sign of a break-in at all. I mean, there will be when you get here, because I had to break the latch, but to get in.
Okay, 4601.
Office of the Medical Examiner. Investigation Report. 4/15/2011. The deceased, Ellen R. Greenberg. On January 26, 2011, at 1931, Detective Sierra of Homicide called to report the death of the above. Descendant found in her apartment with a knife in her chest. At the scene, I arrived to the scene at 2027 and was met by the 5th District Police Snipes and Young holding the log. Sergeant Ferguson, Detective Veal, and Detective Revel, the assigned, were also there. Homicide Sierra and Peters arrived a short time later. The descendant's fiancé, Samuel Goldberg, along with his family and some friends, were also present. Now, this is a little suspicious because the 911 call from Sam Goldberg to the police reporting that Ellen had been stabbed, she was dead, there was blood, it just screamed red flag everywhere. So another red flag here for me is, why is his family and some friends there? And why is her family and some friends not there? So a little bit of background, the descendant's fiancé, Samuel Goldberg, reportedly left the descendant at the apartment around 16:45 to go to the gym. Here is a big time gap. He returned 30 minutes later to 45 minutes later, basically, around 17:15 to 17:30. Now, 15 minutes is a huge time gap. You could do so much in 15 minutes. And was unable to get into the apartment. He opened the door with his keys, but the door was secure from the inside. He proceeded to try and contact the descendant via text messages, telephone calls, and emails for approximately an hour before he forced entry into the apartment. If you know that it only locks from the inside on that latch, and you know for a fact that she's in there because of that, I don't think I'd be trying for a full hour. I would have kicked that door in a long time ago or notified security downstairs. So red flag number 2 for me. An apartment security man was reportedly present during the entry. Notice, reportedly present. I don't know if that's true. I haven't watched all the surveillance tapes yet. He immediately discovered her and called 911. Radio time is at 18:33. He was briefly instructed to start CPR until he noticed a knife in her chest, then was instructed to stop. He did not do CPR on her, according to the 911 call, I don't believe. Instructed to stop implies that he started. He didn't start. He said, I guess I have to, when they said, you need to do CPR. And then he freaked out a moment later after he said, I guess I have to, and said, oh my God, there's a knife in her chest. As if that's like a revelation. You know what I mean? Like, okay, another red flag. Medic 5 responded and pronounced death at 18:40. The location of death is in the kitchen of the descendant's apartment located at the Venice Loft Apartments in Philadelphia. It is a 2-bedroom apartment on the 6th floor of the building, shared by the descendant and her fiancé, Samuel Goldberg. The apartment is well kept and clean. The inside lock to the front door, a common latch door guard, is broken with the screws on the door loose. obviously forced in when in a locked position. Throughout the entire apartment, there is no evidence of a struggle. Furniture and items appear in place. Nothing is obviously missing or disturbed. There are numerous valuables present: money, keys, 3 laptop computers, one in the kitchen on the island, which appears to be Goldberg's, one in the master bedroom suite on the floor, appears to be the descendants as evidenced by wedding material, and one on the additional bedroom desk, appears to be the descendants' work computer, as evidenced by numerous teaching materials. The descendant is a teacher. There is no note found or anything indicative of suicide on the computers or in the rest of the apartment. The only way to exit the apartment with the front doorway locked is through the rear slider leading to a patio. The patio is 6 stories high. There is snow present with no tracks or footprints, completely undisturbed. The ambient temperature is inside the apartment, reads 69 degrees Fahrenheit on a thermostat. The incident occurred during a winter snowstorm. Well, considering it's saying there's a winter snowstorm, meaning snowfall is still taking place. You got to think between 1645 all the way to 1840, which is nearly 2 hours. That's 2 hours for snowfall to cover any kind of tracks or footprints. So, any disturbance. I firmly believe it's factual based on what they found at that given time, but it's not open-minded to it could have been, you know what I mean? It could have been. But we will never know because they did not take photographs. Prescription medication are recovered from a bedstand located in the master bedroom. Prescriber, Dr. Ellen Berman. Alprazolam, clonazepam. Okay, I'm not even going to try to enunciate the medication, but you can see it on the document. A paper booklet is the descendant's pocketbook that's on a chair at the living room island, resembles a journal of her medications and her state of mind while taking them, last dated 1/16. The descendant's cell phone is in the master bathroom. Review of her call and message logs reveal last outgoing call was to a number on 1/26/2011 at 14:33. The duration was 30 seconds. Last missed call was to a programmed, and it's redacted, additional missed calls from a programmed Sam Goldberg on 1/26/2011 between 17:30 and 17:42. Missed calls were for 12 minutes on 1/26, the day of her death, right? He didn't try for very long. So where did those other 45 minutes go that he was allegedly texting and calling and blah, blah, blah? That's a lot of time in between. Last outgoing text to a programmed number on 1/16 at 15:47. Last incoming texts and emails from a programmed Sam Goldberg. Okay, well, this stretches it out a little bit more. On 1/26 between 17:32 and 17:54. Okay, that still leaves anywhere from 20 to 35 minutes of unaccounted for time. What was he doing in that time? Hello, open the door. What are you doing? I'm getting pissed. Hello, you better have an excuse. What the fuck? You have no idea. The descendant is on the hardwood kitchen floor, located just inside the door entrance. The descendant is found supine with her head and some of her upper body or shoulders resting against the lower half of the white kitchen cabinets next to the range. Her body, starting with the head, is facing north and legs west. She is clad in a zipper up dark-colored shirt, over top a t-shirt, gray sweatpants, underwear, and light brown Ugg boots. A pair of eyeglasses are on the floor to the right of the descendant. A white towel is grasped in her left hand. A hair tie or scrunchie is on her right wrist. There are no personal effects on the body. This was carefully staged. No personal effects on her body. Well, no, she's at home. Why would she have any personal effects on her body? Other than maybe a cell phone in her pocket, but that obviously wasn't the case. My question is, why was she still in her Ugg boots? Unless you're like me and you like to wear shoes in your house at all times. Upon further examination of the body, the descendant has a knife embedded in her left chest through her clothing. There are multiple stab wounds examined at the scene. At the chest, where the knife is located, a few superficial grouped nearby, one to the left upper chest near the clavicle, two more at the mid-chest between and just below the breasts. There are defects to the shirt consistent with the underlying wounds. There are no defense injuries to the hands, wrists, or forearms. The right hand is closed in a loose fist. Post-mortem findings at arrival at 2027 and 2155 are the same. The body is mostly flaccid. The hands appear to be slightly stiff. The body is cool to the touch at the extremities and warm to the touch at the torso, front and back. Lividity is inconspicuous. Findings are consistent with current position of the body. Blood is present on the head, in the hair, and neck. The right hand has blood on it. On the front side of her shirt, along with her pants, on the front side, and on the top of both her boots is blood. The right boot has blood on the sole. The blood around her, generally confined to the area of the body, on the floor underneath, and on the face of the cabinets behind her. One small blood spatter is on the cabinet to the left of the body. Interesting. See, if I was stabbing myself, I think that would, especially in a very hard place to stab oneself multiple times in the back of the head and gash my own head, I don't think spatter would really make it to the top. That's just my analysis here. Like, because it's making it into the cabinets, and then separate drops of blood spatter are on the granite countertop above her, as shown in pictures. Now, how is that really possible? She would have to really be going at the jabbing, I don't think so. 2 kitchen knives are in the sink adjacent to the body. They are free of any blood or tissue. The sink underneath is dry and also bears no evidence of blood or tissue. A knife block is on the counter between the sink and the range. It is turned over to the side. 3 utensils are a spatula, fork, and paring knife, all that bears no evidence of blood or tissue. The knife in her body is consistent with the knife set found in the sink and in the block. Interesting. Okay. So they found so many stabs in the back of her head and neck, the big gash, all the blood, 2 or 3 stab wounds in the chest before the final knife in the heart, and that was through her clothing. Okay, I think the only way you could rule something like that a suicide, the only way a person can literally do all of that to themselves, is if they were on some serious drugs here. But even then, this isn't consistent with her doing this to herself, because if she had been on drugs, I think that would have came out at some point. Like hardcore drugs, not the drugs that, her therapist or whoever put her on. Police at the scene provided the information described in the background section. Uniformed police briefly canvassed the hall. At the time, no neighbors reported any loud noises or arguments. Well, if she was surprised from behind, which it seems, she may have taken an immediate blow to where there wasn't going to be a noise other than maybe a fall. But she was a petite woman, so that fall probably wouldn't have made a huge sound. Just my thought. Anywho, fiancé Samuel Goldberg, police initially interviewed him. He provided the information described in the background section. He was taken to NWDD for further interviews. Parents Joshua and Sandra Greenberg were interviewed 1/27/2011 at 07:41. The identification was completed via telephone by the descendants' parents, Joshua and Sandra Greenberg. They were notified of the death by the parents of the descendant's fiancé. Mom states she last talked to the descendant the same day at 0700 when they were both on their way to work. They had a pleasant conversation. She gave no indication that something was imminently wrong. The descendant had been battling issues with anxiety since the end of last year, which I believe fiancé was a little bit of a womanizer. And that could be it. Mom states she was struggling with something, for which she urged her to seek help. She was seeing a psychiatrist, Ellen Greenberg, in Marion Station. The descendant was described as anxious, insecure, and not sure of herself, and not liking how she felt. Characteristics that were not the norm her entire life. The descendant expressed to the parents that she was a bit overwhelmed with her classwork. No, I'm sorry, your classwork does not cause you to be super anxious, insecure, and unsure of yourself, and not liking how you feel. Not when you teach kids. High schoolers maybe a little, because you're dealing with a lot of hormonal kids and they can be a nightmare. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about itty bitties here. I don't think so. I don't think this is the case for her. The descendant's occupation is a teacher for the school district of Philadelphia, currently teaching at Juanita Academy Elementary School, employed for 3 years. She is described as a bright woman who was very successful and recently received her master's degree in education and certified in reading specialty. The day the incident occurred is the same day that school grades were also to be handed in. The descendant was in a committed relationship with Sam Goldberg. They had been together for 3 years, recently engaged over the summer. The parents have no reservations about their relationship. They described the fiancé Sam as a fine young man. Well, when you're with a narcissist and somebody who doesn't want others to see how you really are, they're really good at covering their tracks until the mask slips just a little. And when Ellen was killed, and yes, I'm going to say she was killed, just like the Emmy retracted later and said she was killed, I would have to say that mask felt right off because even her parents saw it then. The parents have no reservations about their relationship. He was a fine young man. They were happy to have him as an in-law. They have no knowledge of any verbal or physical abuse. And you wouldn't. You wouldn't. The parents deny any previous suicide attempts or ideations. But you have to think, what's the one thing that was different in her life during that time when she changed, when she began to not be sure of herself, when anxiety rolled in? Because think about it. She was employed for 3 years as a teacher. She got with Sam 3 years ago too, and then recently engaged. Okay? The timeline fits. When you really look at this, the timeline fits. The parents deny any previous suicide attempts or ideations. The incident is a surprise to them despite her issues with anxiety. Psychiatrist Ellen Greenberg, interviewed via telephone, 1/27/2011 at 11:30. Now, don't be surprised if the doctor can't really say a whole lot, but we'll see. When notified of the death, Berman was upset. She states that the descendant was a new patient of hers, only seeing her 3 times. That looks bad. On January 12th, 2011, January 17th, 2011, and 2 days later on January 19th. She was scheduled for an appointment on January 27th. The descendant presented initially as severe anxiety for 2 months. That's not good. During her brief sessions, it was believed that she was having difficulty with work, overwhelmed, and felt pressure. She probably was having difficulty with work because she felt overwhelmed and pressure, but not from work. I doubt it was from work. She did mention that she was doing well, but the school district changed some regulations. She also had issues with difficult students. She didn't know whether to quit or to work through it. Berman was in the process of developing a treatment plan and was in contact with the descendant's mother, who called expressing concerns for her daughter. There were never any feeling of suicidal thoughts. When asked about her fiancé, the descendant had nothing but good things to say about him. Mentioned they were getting married and he was wonderful. Of course, because a narcissist will control you. They will make sure you cut off everything you love in a certain way, or teach you to make sure you can put your own mask on and play a certain role so no one ever knows. Berman even noted with a smile when she spoke of him. Berman recalls asking about abuse. The descendant denied any verbal or physical confrontations. Here's the thing. I was married to a narcissist, and when I went through therapy and I smiled when I spoke of my ex-husband, the reason being is because I was imagining a time before the bad happened. That was where my mindset was, because mentally I had to go there and stay there. I had to hide there because that was the only way to still stay sane and survive. Is I had to remember the times where things were good and pray that we get back to that and that he changes. And this was before we completely split, but it actually got much worse. So from personal experience and from watching it with others, this has her fiancé written all over it, without a doubt, in my opinion. The descendant was initially prescribed medication, although she expressed the uneasiness of taking medication. She tried Zoloft first and then switched to a low dose of Xanax. After no success, Berman prescribed her Ambien and Klonopin to help her get sleep. There was never any indication of abusive behavior. It doesn't have to be physical. If she has self-doubt about herself, then it's emotional abuse. She's suffering from emotional abuse. The scene and body were examined. Interviews were conducted and photographs were taken. The knife was kept in place during transport. The RX meds and small booklet were taken as evidence. That's interesting that things were taken as evidence and pictures were taken because they deemed it as a suicide and there was no investigation. So what's evidence to them? Because the very next day they allowed Sam and his uncle to come and take whatever they wanted out of that apartment, which was only very specific things that they wanted to hide, in my opinion, of course, allegedly. So I just find certain things written in these reports that are just interesting. The body was ordered for transportation to the MEO via police wagon for further postmortem examination. Comments: the knife recovered from autopsy is a single-edged, serrated blade, approximately 12.5 centimeters in length. To me, it looks like a Cutco. Oh, it says Cutco. It looked like a Cutco knife. I used to have Cutco knives many, many years ago, so I recognized it, but interesting. It was Cutco knife. The video is available for further information on surveillance, contacts, all redacted. So that concludes the ME report. which gave a starting analysis of what occurred when Ellen was found deceased in her apartment. Please consider subscribing if you wish to see more from this channel in the future. And tap that notification bell so you don't miss a video. And don't forget to give the video a like and a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on this case so far. And feel free to ask any questions in the comments too. I respond to everyone, and I will engage with you. I'll see you guys at the next one.